What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Matic TV. This is the Inter United podcast. Welcome to tonight's live show, guys. Don't forget, get your comments in the comment section on every subject we touch on. We're going to talk about, I think, United fans' overreaction, getting a little bit too excited about other teams not doing so well, noisy neighbours and all that. I just think we've sort of lost our place at the football table if this is what we've come to. We're going to touch on what's happening out there right now. Our other clubs around us are looking like they're getting stronger already, and where we are actually at, and what we can look forward to or not, probably more to be to the point. I'm joined tonight by Jamie, Keane, and my man Saeed from Saeed TV. Guys, everyone okay? How's the long weekend been? Like the sun?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Loving life, eh?
It has.
A bit of sunshine in Newcastle. We don't get that a lot, so we've all been loading it up.
It's sunny here in Ireland as well, so it's sunny all around.
Oh man, I see Keane's a bit rough there as well. Looks like he's had a good weekend. I'm still fighting this bleeding cold, man. Tell you. But we move on. We haven't got any more football to stress us out, at least anyway, guys. So. Moving on, before we get into what's going on in our major topics, I just wanted to check with the guys. I mean, Jamie, I'll come to you first, mate. And guys, in the comment section, jump in on this as well and let me know what your thoughts are. We want your high of the season and then your low. I mean, it has ultimately ended disappointingly, but there was probably that one game where you thought, oh, you know what, I got really excited about this. Give me that, and then give me your ultimate low if I need to ask. Jamie, you can go first, mate, on this one. What was your highlight of the season, your moment, the one that stood out above everything else, that got you a little bit more excited?
For me, it was the fact that we've been chasing a trophy under Ollie for so long. I generally thought when we beat Roma in the first leg, that was it. That was. I was a bit worried about Roma, to be honest with you. I don't know why. Looking at it, I just thought it was going to be an awkward game, and we absolutely battered them. And then obviously that coincides with what happened last Wednesday in the final. So it was such a close turnaround with regards to such a high and then such a low. But like the Leeds game was a fantastic game, but for me, like obviously getting them back and giving them a good hiding was nice, but. That Roma game, I just thought from then we're gonna win. We're gonna win the Europa League. Like Arsenal ain't gonna beat us, and Villarreal ain't gonna beat us. And then straight from that high, low on Wednesday, getting beaten that penalty shootout. So nice and quick fire from me, and I'll hand it to the other boys.
Yeah, Keane, mate. I've seen you, the most positive person on the planet, drop to what I can only be described as an all-time low, and I couldn't even get words out of your mouth, mate. That's how bad it was. Was there any moment lower than that Europa League final for you, and what was your one big highlight of the season, mate?
Look, the final, obviously, when you look at the final, that's probably the biggest low of the season. I was on a watch-along here for 3 hours with yourself. I was drunk. I was singing songs, loving life, just having a good laugh. And I thought this could be the one. We're finally going to get a major trophy after a couple of years not getting one. Didn't happen. Definitely a big low, because then again, it kind of dents the season as a whole. Semi-final would be probably biggest high again. Again, it was another example of us showing character and coming back in a game. But the other high I kind of want to mention is beating Spurs away from home at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, especially getting revenge after 6-1. And people know I'm not the biggest Jose Mourinho fan in the world, and it was his final defeat as Tottenham boss, which ultimately kind of led to him losing the job, and Luke Shaw getting kind of gratification that day, and having the big smile in front of his face in front of Mourinho. That was a massive high.
Yeah, Saeed, mate. I mean, I know you've had a few, mate.
Yeah.
That's been a little bit of a joyous moment for you, mate. Start with that high, mate. What do you reckon?
I think, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Mine's really not kind of football related. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's
it can be anything, mate. It can be anything.
Yeah. I think for me, it was the protest and the togetherness of the fans. I thought for me, I know you're getting a bit too much love in the comments there, Adam. But you know, I think for me it would be the protest. I think the protest for me has got to be a key one. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Going in the stadium, back in the stadium, I was fortunate to get a ticket. You know, the whole feeling of going back to Old Trafford, mate. For me, the best part of the season, going back to, even though I was in the away stand, but I felt just going inside, seeing the people around, seeing how everyone was like, felt back and smelling the fresh air, smelling the Old Trafford grass. I think for me, that would be the highest point. And obviously, you got to include maybe Leipzig at home, Leeds at home. They were kind of key games where we thought, wow, you know,
Paris away as well.
But yeah, Paris away, yeah, that was a good one as well. And for me, I'm going to agree with Kino. I think for me, that Europa League, man, I don't think it's going to go out of my system until the first day we play football or the first day we're back in pre-season. I don't know if we've got any pre-season lined up, but, you know, I think for me, it'll have to be that, man. That was for me. Oh, man, I still can't believe it, man. 100th minute, a substitution, eh? You know, it beggars belief, but yeah, that's my highlight of the season, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for Alien to finally stop these clowns in my comment section. Alien, if you can, please, mate.
Yeah.
Because I can't get it all the way. Yeah. Guys, get on it.
Mans need to get a life, man.
It's boring, mate.
I know, but it's sad, isn't it?
Just come up with about 5 different names. Alien, put the beer down, mate, and get on it, please, pal.
That's hilarious.
Well, guys, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much on par with you guys there. A lot of people have said exactly the same thing in as the comment section as well. They're saying that the protests were big. Being back in the stadium, like Saeed said there, a few people have said that as well. Yeah. And it's just been one weird season. I think seeing, do you know what's been good this weekend, guys? It's actually seeing fans in stadiums. The Indy 500 had 140,000 people at it in America. What? It's getting closer. There's fans at golf events. There's fans all over the world. And you know what? By the time this preseason is done, hopefully we can just get on top of everything that's new. Then we can hopefully be back in a normal season. And by then, guys, the pressure is going to be well and truly on. What knocked me a little bit, I mean, we can all have a bit of a laugh and a joke about City losing there, I know. But, guys, let's not forget, this is what United used to laugh at City fans for, actually being more concerned about what we're doing. As soon as we drop down to their level and sort of laughing at them and them losing a final, let's not forget, they actually got to a Champions League final, guys. And yeah, it's all funny, but don't let it just drag on. It's gone. It's done and dusted. Because, like I said, it's just going to show us how far we've fallen again. If we're laughing at them, then we're just the fools ourselves. I mean, Side mate. I mean, we've got a lot of City fans. I'm sure you've had a dig at a couple of them, like they digged us when we got beat. But I mean, the worrying part of that game, Side mate, wasn't City. It was Chelsea, mate, for me, and a little bit of a concern going into next season.
I know.
How well
I know.
They look drilled, mate.
Yeah, I think they're favourites to me for next year, Premier League. I think they just look. I don't know. Maybe the Tuchel struggled against the low blocks. Maybe they'll have to figure it out next season. Whether he gets Lukaku in there, gets a couple of decent signings in there, that remains to be seen. But I think for me, Chelsea, come out of nowhere. They were under Lampard, and we thought, they're the laughing stocks. We tried to compare Ollie to Lampard, and we started doing all this, like these funny things. But in reality, mate, they're back now. Chelsea are not messing around, and apparently now Abramovich is looking to get more signings in. This owner is relentless. Where's Man United saying, right, we've given you that, Ollie, make do with what we got. He's like, no, I'm going to go in more, and that for me worries me because I feel like Chelsea have always been a club that is successful, in terms of the last, 20 years. They've been very, very successful. Apparently, there was a damning stat that, we've won one trophy and they've won 21 since or something like that. Something daft like that. I think they've won about a couple of more trophies than us since the last time we've won one, the Premier League trophy, which for me is a damning stat, in reality. But I think Chelsea will go again. I think City, I could give them banter all we want, but They are apparently looking at Grealish and Kane this summer. Everyone else is going, and we're just haggling with Sancho. It's as if it's all life ends be on Sancho. Like I don't understand it, me. Listen, I'm not saying Sancho's not going to be a good signing, but why is it only Sancho? What's going on with this football club? Like every morning I'm waking up and it's Sancho, this, Sancho, that. Like go and get a proper DM, go and get a centre back so that he doesn't peel off a defender. You know, go and get what we need. You know, not just a glamour signing, which for me, everyone knows clearly that signing Sancho, megastar is rammed, mate. The next day, as soon as we sign Sancho, I bet you there's going to be a social distancing queue outside going up to Matt Busby Way. I can just see it, mate.
Can you trust United to organise a social distancing queue? I mean, as long as the players people are spending money, then it'll be like, let's just let them buy on this one. But I mean, Key, mate, I'll come to you. Sai touched on it then, mate. Lukaku, Haaland reportedly, if available, Chelsea will be in for them. We've seen what Chelsea can do without a real goal scorer up front, mate. Tuchel's taken these guys from 9th to finishing in the top 4. Final of the FA Cup, winning the Champions League, and that's without these signings, mate. And we were miles ahead of them. Looking at it now, is it a worry for you that, like Said said, then we're the ones who seem to just stagnate as soon as the season finishes? We're slow out the blocks, because look across to our other nearest rival, City, and apparently there is unrest there with certain players not happy with game time, and City are only willing to let them go. Move on. We'll just keep adapting. I mean, is it a worry that all these players are moaning? Very similar to our players, but ours seem to stick around too long, mate.
Yeah, look, first of all, with Chelsea, they spent £250 million last year, and net spend of 212. So if they didn't get into the top 4, it should, regardless of who was manager, it should be a disgrace. But fair play to them. They did come back from a very bad position, and Tuchel did drill the team well. And he did push the team where Lampard couldn't. He got more out of the individuals than Lampard did. So fair play to him on that. It's massively worrying as a United fan with this, because you look at City, they're going out getting Harry Kane, Jack Grealish, they're linked with other defenders. Do you know what I mean? Like Cancelo is leaving. I guarantee you, if he leaves, he'd be replaced by a top class rifle straight away. You look at United, were as Said said,
I'm losing Keane. Is everyone losing Keane, or is it just me?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
We're deliberating on Sancho. Look,
okay.
You get the like. Am I back?
Keane, go out and come back in, mate. Go out and come back in. Your Tipperary Wi-Fi, he's absolutely battering you, mate, there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll lose Keane for a second. Jamie, mate, just touching on what Keane was saying there, and Said, mate, it means I've not heard anything encouraging. Like Said said, I mean, Sancho, what's new, mate? What's new? Are we really going to get excited about this again? I'm not, mate. It really doesn't fill me with any excitement at all. The fact that Sky Sports came out of it the other day, and it's looked to me like they were just trying to make news. I mean, where are you at, mate? Are you concerned that there are movement already? I mean, Liverpool have bought, Leicester have bought. We're hearing what Chelsea are looking to do, and we know when Chelsea say something, it's going to happen, mate. Is it a concern that we're just going to get the same old spiel from the football club and Ollie when he eventually does make another interview that the market is what it is and all this bollocks?
Yeah, I think Saeed nailed it on the head, mate. There is no sentimentality at Chelsea, and we're Sentimentality FC. Simple as that. Whether you're Ollie in, whether you're Ollie out, at the end of the day, we all want the same result. We want to see our club challenging for titles. And the reality of it is, when you look at all the other top clubs around the top of the Premier League, your Leicesters, your Liverpools, to a certain extent, your Man Cities, Chelseas, their owners want to win. Ours don't. Interested. And it comes from the top. I always say that. It filters down from the top. You look at Abramovich changes managers all the time because he's not happy with being second best. Like, do you know what I mean? He's brought in Thomas Tuchel, who was labelled by the PSG president as the best manager in the world just a year or so ago before they got rid of him. He's went into Chelsea, he's got them organised, but it comes back to the basics. And this is why I always say, whether you're Ollie in or Ollie out, you must be able to understand the fundamentals of football. You're either a good top class manager or you ain't. And Ollie just isn't at that level. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's only ever going to take us so far. If you want to get on board with that, that's absolutely fine. I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? But you can't begrudge people that are the opposite as well and saying, look, he's not at that level. And the reason why these teams keep competing is because they're constantly refurbishing their team. They're constantly going out and improving areas of the team, whereas we've just neglected it. So I'm not surprised we're in the situation we are, because your fundamentals at a football club need to be right from top to bottom. And that's from board to the players on the pitch and the fans in the stadium. And we're just a completely disconnected club. We want one thing, the owners want something else, and we get a roundabout in the middle, and it never seems to get any better. But I'm not going to sit here and dig the boy out, because I love Rashford, but his interview after the Europa League really put fear into me, because it was all like, oh, we're disappointed, we're sorry, we'll be back. And I'm like, I've heard it all before. Like, I love you, Marcus. What you've done for the country is amazing, and you've done fantastic for the football club, but I've heard all this nonsense before. Let's be real here. All four of us are United fans. If you can't get up for a cup final, mate, playing for Manchester United in a European Cup final, what does it say for the future of the team? You know, and what Saeed was saying, we're clinging on to a signing of a boy. Like, you know what I mean? Where's the ambition? Where's the... Do you know what? Chelsea are going to spend big. Man City are going to spend big. Right. This is Champions League and Premier League winners. Why don't we go out and match them? But there's just none of that. It'll be the same drivel again, because it filters from the top, and there's no positivity coming down the line. So it's just the same dross, and it'll be the same next season. I know we were all emotionally quite high after the Europa League, Adam, and I went on a bit of a rant, and I watched it back, and I was like, goodness me, Jamie, you went off on one there, mate. But it's fun, mate. It's talking, mate. Yeah, it hurts. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier, Keane couldn't even talk. I didn't talk to anyone for a couple of days, Adam, because it hurt me that much, mate. Do you know what I mean? And there's just no positivity. And you're looking at the other teams, like you've just said. Liverpool have signed Konate, Leicester have bought Samari in. Teams around us are getting better, mate, and we're just standstill FC yet again.
Yeah, I mean, Keane's back in there now, mate. I mean, Prem, cheers for the super chat, mate. Keane will get your opinion on this one first up, mate. Difference between us, Leicester City, Chelsea and City is they sign first team signings, we sign backups. If we're gonna back managers, back them in the window. I mean, Keane, you can't really disagree with what Prem said there, mate. It's facts. It is facts. We never get number one. We always get 2 or 3. And our team is full of them. Said said this to me many a times before. Our team is just awash with reserve or backup players or our second choices, mate. Why is it going to change this summer, mate?
It won't. This reeks of summer 2018 again. They're going to give a manager a new contract. Whether you agree with that or not, that's another thing. But they're going to give a manager a contract and then not back him in the window, and then they're going to sack him by Christmas. Then it's going to be rinse and repeat. That's what it's going to be. Like, the fact of the matter is, the reason why I think this is, like, they're barely getting a Tom Heaton deal over the line. It's taken a few weeks to get Tom Heaton, the free goalkeeper, out of contract, over the line. Like, Jadon Sancho has been going on the last 18 months, but this deal's been actively negotiated for 18 months. Last year, it's probably easier to sign him, because there's probably going to be a couple of other clubs in for him. Chelsea are in for him this summer. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Liverpool might come in for him. But, like, you look at other positions, Saeed touched on it. Centre defence, midfield, and centre back are probably more important than Sancho, because you need the spine of your team to be strong if you're going to challenge for anything. Like, the fact we could be going into it next season with McFred in midfield, regardless of who's manager, frightens the shit out of me. And I'm going to lie, it frightens me if we go into midfield with McFred in next season. If we go back into next season with Lindelof beside Maguire next year, I have a massive fear. And look, whether you're Ollie in, whether you're Ollie out, this board are the most incompetent shower you'll ever come across in your life. And the fact of the matter is, you look at Ed Woodward leaving, and they're going giving Arnold, another banker, the chief executive job. That tells you everything you need to know about this football club in terms of the direction it's going, and in terms of its ownership. So, the manager, yes, he's inexperienced. Is he a man to win his league? No, he's not, probably. But this ownership is an absolute joke, and it's a farce.
I mean, one thing this ownership does do, Saeed, is give stupid wages out, mate. And
Yep.
you know what? I'm looking at, and like I said, I still want Ole to go. I want him to leave, but I want him to leave with dignity. I don't think he's going to win us the title. And for me,
which we want.
One thing they do, mate, is spend stupid amounts of money on wages.
Yeah.
Let's forget this. Antonio Conte left Inter Milan. Zinedine Zidane left Real Madrid. There are managers out there, and some people will say quick fixes. Yes. Espirito Santo was down as a god at Wolves, but he only lasted 4 years, guys. Ole's now into year 3. By the time his contract runs out, if he doesn't get a new one, that is, he's going to be 4 years in and nothing.
Which one will they announce? Sorry to cut you off. What do you reckon? Which one will they announce? Will they announce Ole's contract first before Sancho? I'm trying to think which one will they announce first.
Oli out Sancho.
Whether I like it or not.
It'll be Oli out Sancho. I think it'll be Sancho. Totally deflect everything from Ole and his achievements, and then just say Ole. Because if he gets the 3-year deal, I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone knows where I stand with Ole. I'm fair, I'm straight down the middle, but a 3-year contract is probably it's rewarding mediocrity, mate. I mean, I'm looking at Conte, I'm looking at Zidane. Pochettino still hasn't signed at Spurs yet. I know you would bring the new man in, mate. Would you change from Pochettino for either of the other two, though, Zidane? Would you think the others are better?
Conte.
You take Conte.
Yeah, for me, Pochettino could be a possibility, but I think it's very, very complex. Whereas Conte's available. I think he's posted something today about time to relax and whatnot. I think if he looks at the Premier League, I think it's got unfinished business. And I think for me, we can talk about the board and everything, but I think for me, I think that's long gone. I went to the stadium. Me and Lordy was at the stadium, right? And can you believe it? We tried to get the Glazer chants going, and people were just really, really happy to be there. I'll be honest with you. And what had happened was we asked a group of fans. We said, "Are we going to be? Are we not? Where's the kind of feeling?" And they said, "Yeah, we're going to sing in the stadium." And then I went into the stadium, mate, and there was no singing about the Glazers. So I think for me, the feeling of the Glazers always dies down with the Ambition Football Club, with what's going right now. And I think, honestly, I genuinely think for me, it's gonna take a serious manager to come in for us to realize where we are. I think a lot of us are kind of we're fighting amongst each other. It's not great, but we want the best for the football club. And I get the Glazers, we want them out, but which is more achievable? Getting the Glazers out or getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out? For me, getting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out could happen. Because if you look at Frank Lampard, right, he wasn't deemed good enough. The same group of players, Tuchel has come in within 4 months. He's got him into the Champions League final and won it, and in the FA Cup final. Okay, lost that, but still got there. And that for me shows me a glimmer of hope. Because it's not as if we've not had money. It's not. I'm not being kidding you guys. We've had money, but we've spent it wrongly. And also, when we've had it, we've not utilised it. Donny van de Beek on the bench. Telles. What's it called? We've got certain players on the bench. Diallo. Palestro we put on loan. There are certain players that we've got in there. We've not utilised it. So if you're telling me you're going to give 300 million to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is he going to utilise it? Is he going to say to Donny van de Beek, listen, now you're on the bench. You go and buy Ndidi. Go and get Ndidi, Declan Rice. If McTominay has 5 games, that are unstoppable, and he's in the squad, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bases it on, you know what? That McFred, it works, I like it. They give me a lot of energy. They give me what I'm very comfortable with. These are for me, the in-house principles Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't have. Whereas I think for me, Conte, he comes in, he's a winner. And I think that's what these players need to be drummed in. We are winning stuff at Man United Football Club. We are not accepting 4th place. We are not accepting, the style of football we're in right now. I'm going to make it adaptable. If he plays 5 at the back, and we win the league, is anyone going to be bothered? No, because we won. And that's the main thing. We can't win it pretty anymore. I'm being deadly, deadly serious with you guys, fans. We cannot win it pretty anymore. It's not going to be the Sir Alex Ferguson DNA mold. Sir Alex Ferguson was his time. Right now, mate, if you don't get with the time, mate, you're going. And the people are leaving you behind. And I'm thinking Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal. These were all clubs that we should have had a race ahead. We should have been a season ahead of them. But now, We're struggling to finish top 4 next season.
Without
I just
even
feel like
batting an eyelid.
without even batting an eyelid, teams are literally. If Tottenham go get Pochettino and Arsenal sign a few players, mate, I tell you what, guys, I don't want to be negative, yeah, but we're gonna finish the same way we are next season. And again, why do we have to get dragged down for me by a manager who I think is not good enough for this football club? Shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Try another manager.
Well,
Chelsea approved it. Sacking managers wins you trophies. Simple as that.
Said, I'm going to touch on a point of yours in a second there. I'll just get through this super chat from Preem. People forgetting what we want and what the board want is different. We're saying win the league. They're saying get top 4. They don't care about us. Very true, mate. Very true. So I'm going to ask this question, Jamie, mate. Said touched on it then. We have to look at it realistically now. What do we want? We want United to be successful at the end of the day. We know what the Glazers are and what Musk can get out of this meeting. We don't know. We'll have to just wait. It's now in the lap of them and how that's communicated across with Joe Glazer. Hopefully we can get something out of it and the fans can get a say. No one's going to be happy with what the Glazers do. So realistically looking at it, I mean, Jamie, I'll touch on it there. Today's just touched on Chelsea and Tuchel and what he's done. For you, mate, looking at United's squad and Chelsea's squad, who has the better squad? Who has the better players, mate? Because I look at Chelsea's defence and goalkeeper and I go, he's not really that much better than what we are. I don't think. I really don't think. I'm looking at Christensen, I'm looking at Zuma, I'm looking at Rudiger. I mean, Silva's well on his own. I mean, he is quality and he's coming to the end of his career, but he's not going to last forever. I'm looking at that and going, they look like absolute prime Milan right now. And then you look at the midfield, we've got Bruno, we've got Donny, we've got Pogba. And I'm looking at it and going, we're not that far away from Chelsea, really. I mean, they couldn't lay a glove on us when we played them. Yeah, it was likewise the other way, mate. We beat City well. Yeah, they beat us as well. But we've competed with both of these teams this season, mate. So, looking at it, are Chelsea a better squad than us?
I don't think they're a better squad, Adam. I think they've got good individual players in specific positions, like Kante, for example, that allows them to play a more progressive game.
What that guy's doing under Tuchel is just ridiculous, man. The guy is an absolute machine. Yeah. I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and they've started picking players to get the balance of the team correct. You know, like I think his first game he played Emerson, who hadn't played hardly all season, and people were like, "What's he doing? What's this guy doing?" It's all about balance and getting the right team on the pitch. Their team's not much better than us, but it comes down to what Saeed was saying a minute ago. It's the manager. They've got a world-class manager, and football's very black and white, Adam. I think we just complicate it sometimes. And if you've got a top manager, you can be a top team. Like, you know, a manager makes so much of a difference to a football club. I mean, so look at Sir Alex. Like he constantly was revolutionizing squads, freshening them up, bringing in competition. We don't see that anymore with United. And the problem is, although what Saeed was saying there about Conte's the reason why we won't touch Conte is because he ain't a yes man. He'll come in there and he will call out the Glazers in press conferences for not giving him. And the reality of it is, what Keane was touching on earlier, whether you're Ollie in or Ollie out, it doesn't matter. It's the facts are he is an inept manager with regards to that top tier management. He just is. Whether you want him in, whether you want him out, it doesn't matter. That is the cold hard facts. And it doesn't matter where you stand on the debate of do you want him in and do you support him or do you want him out? It comes down to fundamentals with football, and you can have the best team in the world, but if you can't Lampard had the same players and couldn't get a tune out of them. And then the sentimentality was gone from Abramovich and he was shot. A club legend, you know, he is a real club legend, Lampard as well. He started every single game for them. Let's be honest, Solskjaer made a lot of appearances from the bench for us. So if they're getting rid of Lampard, it's all about big club mentality. Saeed says it all the time, act like a big club, and we don't do it. And as I said earlier, it filters down, and this is what you get left with when you've got a group of players that do have ability, but a manager that doesn't quite have that tactical nous. This is what you get left with, and you can have the best team in the world, but if it ain't there, it ain't there. You can't. It's like bringing a manager up that ain't at that level. It happened with David Moyes, and the problem is with our fan base. You just hit on it a minute ago, Adam. You made a really good point, mate. Like, our fan base is obsessed with longevity. It doesn't exist in the modern game anymore. Managers are at clubs 3 or 4 years if you're lucky. Mourinho is a modern day manager. He does a 3-year plan and he shoots off when he's won. You know, like, and that's Mourinho's a bad example, but he's not. Yeah, I know. I mean, when he first come through from, he's never had longevity at a team to say 7 or 8 years. It doesn't exist in the modern game anymore, and I feel like we've got tinted glasses on with that, but. Ollie's at the club because he's a yes man, and he's, yes, sir, that's fine, sir, no problem, sir. Them type of managers at the top elite European clubs like Inter Milan and that doesn't happen with Conte and Zidane, and that's why you'll never see anyone like that at the club.
Cheers for that, Jason, mate. I understand totally what you're saying there, Jamie, mate. Guys, halfway through the video, just under 300 in the room with us. Hit that like button, guys. Get your likes in. It does help the video. It does help the channel as well, guys. So hit that smash like button as you come in. Share the video on your socials, and obviously hit that subscribe button if you're watching for the first time. Keen, mate, people are saying don't compare United to Chelsea to me in the comments here, mate. We finished the bottom in the league, mate. At the start of last season that's just gone, people were saying Chelsea were favourites to finish top 2, finish well above United. And but for Tuchel, it is going to be an absolute failure for Chelsea. And Jamie said then they seen the writing on the wall. They looked at that squad and went, this squad has got something in it. I think everyone in the world seen that this squad had serious talent in Chelsea. And there goes your legend. Let's get this club back up to where it needs to be. Some didn't agree with Tuchel's process at the start, mate. Some didn't agree with the, pragmatic style. Get the results. Let's just get in the Champions League. Because I remember, I've talked with plenty of Chelsea fans on this channel, and they all said the same thing when he came in. I think he's just picking players in the squad right now to get into the Champions League and then rebuild. They've just gone to a new level, mate. But one thing I want to ask you, Keen, mate, and this is key, and I touched on Chelsea's defenders and how I think they're not their best. But Rudiger was done. He was finished, mate. And you know what? Tuchel's come in. He's come in and said, look, train hard, show me what you've got, and you'll play for this team. That doesn't happen at Manchester United, Keane. It doesn't happen. And I think it started to go wrong for us when we started having players playing well, like Eric Bayer, like Donny when he had an appearance against Southampton. And these players then did not play the next game. They wasn't rewarded, mate. I think this is our major problem, mate. We don't give everyone in our squad a chance. We don't see our squad because Ollie doesn't trust them, apparently. If you don't trust them, then how come everyone's getting new deals, Keane? Because I'm looking at what Chelsea have done with their squad and gone, I've seen players start on the Tuchel that I didn't even know were there. I thought they were long gone. But all of a sudden, he's rejuvenated the football team. And you've seen the scenes in that dressing room yesterday, mate. I mean, on Saturday, sorry. And they are well behind him. And the squad is behind him, mate. Our squad, I'm looking at it, and I think this is where we went wrong, because Christmas time, we were top, mate. Eric Bayer was our best defender. And all of a sudden, mate, we started to take a downward spiral. We didn't play him against Liverpool, big game. We didn't play him in the semi against City. We brought Lindelof back in when Bayer was playing well. So for me, my major issue is trusting Ole. And can you see him turning this around this season, having seen what Eric Bayer's already come out and said?
No, I don't. You look at certain things such as taking Bayer out of the team last season. That was criminal at some points because Victor Lindelof, not only was he out of form, but he was also injured at the time. I did say it on my own channel that, many times that Lindelof should have been rested. Like I think he needs surgery on his back as well, which is even worse. So putting him in the side, that was a flaw by Ollie. I think persistent with McFred, that's in certain games when we're going to have 60% of the ball. It's also a concern. Look at how Tuchel's kind of, I suppose, magnified that system. Like Chelsea were playing 4-3-3 under Lampard or 4-2-3-1, and it wasn't working. Tuchel went in, assessed the squad and said, look, he normally plays with a 4-3-3, but he doesn't have the personnel to do it, so he went to a 3-4-3 or was it 3-5-2 or whatever he's gone with, kind of 3-back system anyway. And basically it worked because he had the players to suit the system. Ollie hasn't kind of, I suppose, in the full season. Yes, we finished second and kind of went unbeaten away from home, but there's been times this year where he could have changed his system for certain games and he hasn't done it. And in-game management hasn't been there, and that's been, it's probably ultimate flaw is adaptability. I think that's been a major flaw in Ollie. And like I've always said, I always like to think he can turn it around. I always like to think he can do these things, but when you see it consistently happens, and then the fact of the matter is the fact he's inexperienced coaches around him. Like Ollie's an inexperienced manager. Like any inexperienced manager gets experienced number twos beside him, experienced defensive coaches. Like you look at even Jose Mourinho years ago, he brought in Rui Faria as a defensive coach, and he's someone who I think United could do it. Someone like that, or Carlos Queiroz, because at defending we're not adapting. And the fact of the matter is we're conceding goals this season from set pieces and so on and marking, and we have not cleared that up. Yeah. The management has to be held accountable for that, because you can't concede the same goal all season. Like I played amateur level over here, and if we concede the same goal, we get absolutely battered. And you know, on a training ground on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, you're going to be training set pieces. You're going to be training corners, solo marking, all that to make sure that you know it down to a T. But this is the thing. He doesn't have experienced coaches around to hide for his flaws. So I think, yes, I think this summer getting transfers in is a very big thing. But I think Ollie does need to get experienced coaches around him. Because clearly Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna aren't cutting the mustard. And unfortunately, it's killing us. And you can talk about recruitment all you want, right? You can talk about recruitment all you want and get this, that, and the other in. But if you don't have an experienced coach there to mop up things like soul marking, to mop up things like getting caught at the back post, you're not going to progress any further. Like second place or top four is going to be your ceiling because the players won't get better.
That's it. So what are you going to touch on there, mate?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on, mate, you know, maybe like Rua Farry and, you know, Rita Mulliston and all that. There with that time, though, I think Man United need to get a progressive coach for now. You know, I know Mourinho got Sacramento from, I think he got it from Lyon, but we need to be looking at them kind of coaches which can help Ole out. I just think Kieran McKenna, he was under Mourinho. And so you got to realize that he was probably adopting negative tactics then. So is it the right coach that we got at this football club? But again, me and Nuruddin were arguing on the Strict Jacket podcast. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought these guys in. He's the one that flew, you know, thingy from all the way from Australia to here. He brought him here. Yeah. He said to him, "Come over here to do what? To do little tweets before the game, saying I'm in sunny Mallorca and all this." I've had enough of feeling now. He needs to go for me. He's here for a pension retirement home, and he's getting his little money before he retires. That's all we're doing. We're giving out sentimental values. Michael Carrick, for me, you're not learning your trade at Man United. Full stop. I'm not having this. He was a great player, but I'm not having him learning on the job, mate, at Man United. As simple as that. The other guy over there, for me, the biggest startling one was when we had, Ollie's right-hand man, the guy with the ball head. I think he's a goalkeeper coach.
Mick Dempsey.
Is it Sorry?
Is it Mick Dempsey? Is that the other fella?
Yeah. Can you believe it, right? He knows Spanish, so he has to be the one that relates tactics to Cavani. Relates tactics to certain players. Like, for me, that's just mind-boggling. Why is he the always one that's got the sheet, giving it to Greenwood and saying, listen, we're doing this, we're doing that? Why him of all people? Where's Kieran McKenna? Where's these guys that are meant to be coaches? I just feel like, for me, it's not just Ollie. It's the whole the whole backroom staff should be sacked. Simple as that. I don't think you can now sack the manager and then some of them stay like Carrick. You've got to say to them all, you're not good enough. And for me, the thing that you got to realize yourself is, where does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even go next after this job? I don't think in the Premier League. I don't think in the top leagues in Europe. He goes back to Molde, and it's simple as that.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to agree, but I am. It's facts. He isn't going to get another job at any top team in Europe.
Nope.
We know this. And this now, I'm going to ask Jamie, mate. I mean, looking at this, mate, you have to seriously. My major doubt now going forwards. I'm not one to say I'm in the know or I know people in there, but I do know someone who works in the coaching setup at United. I don't know him well enough. My family do. And he is part of the squad. And there's doubts in there, guys. There really is that Ollie is out of his depth. I'm not just saying it for the sake of it to try and make news or anything like that, but it's facts. It's what people are saying with him inside the club. They won't say it out in public. They're not allowed to. We all know the MUTV spin that they have to put on it. PI United, as we call them. It's garbage. But, Jamie, I'm looking at this now and going, this football club are about to give Ole Solskjaer a 3-year contract. I'm a player of a very good high level, and I'm looking at the Premier League as the promised land, which it is. It's the best league in the world. It's the most competitive league. Manchester United are giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a 3-year contract. Am I going to go to that club because I've seen what's happened to Eric Bayer? I've seen what's happened to Donny van der Beek. I've now seen that there's players at that club who are there for a swan song, like Said said, a payday. Are we going to be able to attract these players? Because, mate, this has happened already. We had Jude Bellingham at Carrington. This man now is going to the Euros at age 17. He's the best midfielder at Dortmund at the moment, and we know the quality that's at Dortmund right now. He's shining above everyone else. Let's not talk about Sancho and Haaland. You listen to any European football expert, it's all about Bellingham. And the reason that they think that this kid is going to shine at the Euros is because he's not in England right now, and the press aren't getting a hold of him and building him up to be something. He's gone under the radar. But we missed out on this guy. We couldn't seal the deal. We had him at Carrington. If you can't seal a deal for a 17-year-old lad from England, and he's there in the flesh and blood over a team like Dortmund, then I think the writing's on the wall. And a lot of players will look at that. Then they'll look at, like what I just said then, Donny van der Beek. And I'll add this as well, Jamie, right now. All these players are going to the Euros. They all start talking. What's it like there? What's it like? What's it? All this and that. And you know what? That's where I'm worried, mate. I mean, can you see these players actually thinking like this now? Because look at what Tuchel's done. They're going to go, wow, he's turned Rudiger and Christensen into world-beating defenders that stop Manchester City's Pep. We're restricting them to one shot on goal, Jamie. I'm looking at them. I'm not looking at United, mate.
Yeah, no. I think what you just said right at the start of there, Adam, was top players at an elite level of the game of football want to win trophies. And if you're looking at Man United, we've taken our supporters' hat off for a little minute and our tinted glasses from times. So if you're a top player at elite level, you're looking at Man United, where's the trophies? You're not winning trophy. People seem to think Kane's going to come to us. Are they mad? Like, are they mad? Like, do you honestly think he's going to want to come in and be playing in the Europa League when he's come out and made the statement that he wants to win the best trophies because he's not got like loads of years left in his career? We missed out on Bellingham. We missed out on Haaland because of fees. Because of, as I say, I keep saying it on here throughout this show, but it's from the top. Like, they didn't want to pay the fee for arguably the most exciting young player in Europe at the moment, Haaland. And we're already starting to get players rejecting us. But if I was actually thinking about this earlier, so it's funny that you've actually asked me this, Adam, because I was thinking, if I was a top elite player, would I want to go to United at the moment? And take away the fact that I'm a Man United fan, I'm looking at it purely from a neutral point of view. There's no way I would be going there. You look at the way they've treated Donny van der Beek, and that's down to Ollie. I'm not having anybody else take the blame for the way he's been treated. And he's playing Fred and McTominay ahead of them, of him. He's an international player who's been playing at in a peak Ajax, a very exciting Ajax team for years, and he can't get a game for Man United. He's one of the best players in the squad on the ball. Take away Bruno and maybe Mata, very good on the ball. Donny van de Beek's come through the Ajax academy, one of the best academies in the world, and he can't get a game for Man United over a Brazilian that I'm convinced he ain't Brazilian sometimes, and a Scottish international. I like McTominay. He worked his socks off in the final, and fair play to him. I'm not having a dig at him, but Donny van de Beek is a better footballer than both of them. You know, and if you want to play at that elite level, you come to Man United to win trophies, but players ain't looking at that way anymore, Adam. Like you say, young English players are rejecting Man United now. Like, and it's, if you look at if you're a parent of a boy that's thinking about going to Man United, and you've got Dortmund, who is potentially going to take his career on to the next level, and he's going to be playing regular football, or you're looking at it and thinking, do you know what, Jude? I don't think you're going to get a game at Man United, mate, because Ollie's very consistent with Fred and McTominay, so you're probably going to sit on the bench there, buddy. So I would go to Dortmund, and fair play to his dad, and I put it on my Twitter, fair play to him for looking out for his boy, because he wouldn't have got a game at United and completely stagnated and wouldn't be going to the Euros now. I mean, Donny just managed to get in the Holland team. If I was Donny van de Beek, I'd be asking to leave in the summer. And it continue. People, you look at everything, the board, the manager, the club, how they've performed in the last 3 years, and is any of the top elite European players going to want to come to us? Of course they're not.
You're on mute, Adam.
You're on.
Well said, boys. Thank you for that. I seen Donny van de Beek smiling heading out to the Dutch squad the other day. First time I've seen him smile in a long time. I think
he's loving life,
going to a place where he's actually wanted. There's a great comment here, actually, in a second I'm going to bring up. But Red since 975 for the super chat. Cheers, mate. Surely we have to remove all sentimentality and treat Ole Solskjaer as a manager and not let his player achievements influence our feelings. That's pretty much what we're getting at in all of this, I think, mate. But this one here, just touching on Bellingham side, mate. Jason's just come back with this. He's just said, Adam, did you hear what Bellingham said? He said Dortmund offered him the first 13 minutes and the chance at an England cap within 2 years. He said all he did was offer him money and no plan. I mean, if that's true, mate, say then that pretty much backs up everything we've just said. No clue FC.
Absolutely.
No plan FC. What do you want, mate?
No plan FC. You know, that's another one added to the list. No plan FC. You know what I mean? Money thrown at the club, money thrown at the player. You know what I mean? I think for us, I think this is you know, when I look at, I think our club, if you're going to come to our club, it's solely based that you're going to get the best payday in your career. I think really, like if Pogba really wanted to leave, he would have left, but he knows he's on 300 grand a week. David De Gea won't leave.
500
be ambitious.
Now. You see that now? He has 500 now. If he stays, I think United are going to be offering 500 grand a week.
Yeah. Say that again, Keen, mate. Sorry.
So with Pogba, he's out of contract next summer. And do you see the rumors flying around the rumor mill that they're going to be offering 500 grand a week to stay?
Pathetic.
Yeah.
That's Sanchez way.
You don't surprise me. Yeah, it don't surprise me. And for me, I'd be disappointed in Pogba if he kind of stayed for the money. You know what I mean? I thought he would have been better than that. I thought he would have had more ambition. But I look at it and I think Quadmat is on 160 grand a week. I think Romero's still on about 60 to 70 grand and he's still not playing. Cavani's on 200 grand a week. Listen, I've got nothing. I keep saying this. I've got nothing against Cavani. I think he's unbelievable. But would a top club offer Cavani that sort of money, you know what I mean, towards the end of career? I'm not sure they would. You know what I mean? Especially when I looked at the Europa League final and I thought, he was out there. He got us a goal, fair play to him, but he was almost running around. I remember one time when he was running ahead of Pogba, and I was thinking, great, I love the ambition, I love the courage, but why is he doing that for? We should be reserving his energy. The coach should be saying, listen, I don't want you leaving your box, mate. You know, I don't want you doing all of that stuff. So it's almost as if he's going to run himself to the ground, and I just think for me, there's a lot of players who are coming to this football club purely for the money. Sancho, for me, listen, I know there's a project and it's Man United here, but still, it's a lot of money that he's getting offered, more than he's getting at Dortmund. He'll be getting offered mega money at Man United. I want to be surprised if he's on 250 grand a week at 20 years old, mate. It wouldn't surprise me, man. And that's what this club's become. We are literally begging people to stay. We're begging the likes of Juan Mata to stay, the likes of, Matic to give one more year. We're begging for people to stay, and that's the reality, mate. Teams don't want to come here for ambition. They want to come here because they know that at the end of the week, I'm getting my 300 grand a week. And David De Gea, that's the only reason why he stays for these next 2 years. He don't care about the competition. Secretly down, he's thinking, okay, Henderson's going to be top number one, but he won't handle the pressure. So I'll be back in the sticks. I know how to worm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know what to tell to him behind his back. And I'll do it, and I'll get in my position. And that's the reality, mate,
Yeah, I mean, key mate.
Saeed.
Yeah, mate. Sorry, Jamie, I'll bring you back in a second.
That's all right, mate.
I'll get you all your thoughts on it, actually. But a comment just came in there again. Diogo Dalot making comments regarding the coaching, the way things are done at Manchester United again. I mean, this guy's still contracted. We're paying the guy a wage, Keane, and he's slagging us off in the press. And it's not a clear slag off, so don't misquote me on that, people. But anyone with any knowledge and sense knows it's a dig. It's a dig at Manchester United, because we're looking at AC Milan look like they can make the most out of Dalot, and it looks like they could be actually putting a bid in for him. But I'm looking at that. Your opinion there, Keenan, mate. Overpaying Pogba, like Saeed said there, just to keep him at the club, because they know, I think, and I want to get your opinion on it, Keen, actually. Do you think that United would actually have someone to replace Paul Pogba? I don't think they've got a replacement, and therefore they're looking at it as monthly payments of Paul Pogba's wages are right now cheaper than actually going out and spending on an actual replacement. Because honestly, I don't think there is anyone to replace Pogba, if you like him or if you don't. And he did let us down in the final, along with all our other big players. Let's not get that wrong. But right now, I'm looking at that. Dalot saying what he's saying, Keane. Pogba, we're looking desperation to try and keep hold of him. It's not, again, there's nothing sort of in control. We still haven't appointed certain people in positions that they were talking about when Ed Woodward's announcement was made. It's just taking an absolute age again, mate.
That's damning. That's damning, that.
It is. Damning. It is.
They're going to announce the Woodward replacement. Think about the Woodward replacement thing. They're going to do that after the window's over. Like, after the window's over, then, because all that dust is settled, they'll announce Richard Arnold as his replacement. And again, Woodward's probably taking a back seat this summer because he knows he's out the door. Do you know what I mean? He knows, I'm out the door. Do I really have to bend over backwards to help United, negotiate all these deals? Do that? No, he doesn't. Look at Murtaugh. He's another internal appointment. And you look at everything else in terms of the recruitment structure. They only started planning their summer transfer window 2 days ago. 2 days ago. That same day, Liverpool signed Konate. So that tells you everything you need to know in terms of this club, in terms of planning and vision. That tells you everything you need to know in terms of where they want to go. The worst thing that happens to this football club every time is us finishing top four. Because the minute we do that, the club rests in their laurels and they don't move forward. The only time this club shits themselves is when we finish 5th or 6th and we don't finish outside the top four, and then you see them buy players. Happens every time. And then you look at other things then, like, you talk about replacing Paul Pogba. There's an easy way to, well, I won't say an easy way, but there's a logical way to do it. You put Donny van de Beek into midfield, you buy a defensive midfielder, and then you put Bruno and Donny in the same midfield. And then you have a midfield that has balance and control. And then you can play Rashford in his natural position, Greenwood on the right, and Cavani up top for a year until Greenwood's molded into a striker role. But will United be smart enough to do that? No, because they probably don't want to splash out on a defensive midfielder, because they know Rice is going to cost them probably 80 million. Indeed, he's probably going to cost them 90 million. If they're going abroad and buying Zakaria from Mönchengladbach, he's probably going to cost them 60, 70 million. This football club is not serious. And as long as these Glazers are in control, we're never going to be serious. We're never going to be wanting to push the next level. Finishing second this year, yes, it was good progress, and in terms of improving on last year and being unbeaten away from home, that's all well and good. But as soon as the owners see that, they think everything is to hunky-dory, everything's rosy in the garden, and they think we don't need to push to the next level. And it's damning. And then you look at like Richard Arnold coming in, a banker, another banker coming into replace a banker. If you're a serious football club, pay Ajax whatever you need to pay him and get Edwin van der Sar in Woodward's role. Because there's someone who has football pedigree and knows what they're doing in that role. Whereas Arnold is a banker, and this is going to be rinse and repeat, even when Ed Woodward's gone.
I mean, Jamie, I don't think they're going to bring in anyone who, I would say, out Manchester United. I think they're scared about someone with football knowledge coming in and just being absolutely flabbergasted by the way the club's run, and that rolls into what Keane said there. Bankers, as long as they can keep the statements, the spreadsheets, and everything where it needs to be for this club just to take dividends and look good on paper for shareholders, then I don't think there are ever going to be any football men in place at Manchester United until it's taken over. And we know for a fact now, because I talked about the fans at the start of this show, everyone's forgetting everything all of a sudden. Everyone is forgetting everything about what we was doing outside the stadium the other day with the Glazers, the other week, sorry. It's just getting forgotten about now. All anyone's doing is getting excited about the transfer window, which, guys, I'm starting the Transfer Bollocks show tomorrow, and there is a reason why I'm calling it that as well, because that is what is, guys. Don't listen to anyone else who's in the know crap. Just come on and speak to the fans. The fans are the ones who are going to make this transfer window what it is, a farce. And if something surprises us, then even better. But that's what it is. But Jamie, mate, I mean, I don't think I'm wrong in saying I can't see any United fan thinking that this is ever going to change behind the scenes, mate, in terms of putting a football man into a football role.
Nah, Keno just hit the nail on the head, mate. It's not going to change because they're mates FC, ain't they? And as long as the spreadsheets and that show progress on the pitch, and as long as we're getting into the top four, I think Keane absolutely nailed it with that comment. I was just like, yeah, that's the one. There's the comment right there, because it's famous top four, which I'll say on here, and if people want to clip this, they can, and I hope they can clip it at the end of next season. But I don't think we're going to make the top four next year, mate. I'll be honest. No, because I don't see enough ambition from the club at the top to tell me that we're going to progress to that next level. I've seen it season after season after season. It's the whole, I call us spin FC, because we'll be like, right, we want Varane, we want Sancho, we want Rice, we want this, we want that, and we get no one. So it's then I think what you said there is bang on. They're not going to bring a footballing person into the club because I think they'll be exploited on how the way they're running the club, and someone's going to go, whoa, do you honestly think Van der Sar is going to come into Man United when he's like at Ajax, a team traditionally he was brought up with and ran like a proper football club? There's no, it ain't going to happen. And it's hard from a Man United because you don't want to be negative. Like, you don't want to be negative about your team, but like, where's the positivity? Like, it's another banker in a row to replace another banker. Mate. And we're clutching at straws, mate. Yeah, that's what it is, and it is hard, mate. And it does get you down as a fan because you're like, why have we not got no ambition? Like, why are we in for the best players? Like, we're arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world, but we're not ran like a big club anymore. We're a big club in stature and in title. The way we're ran and the playing personnel and the management and the staff, we're not a big club anymore. We're not ran like a big club. There's teams in the Championship that ran better than us, mate. And that's a fact. Look at Brentford. Like, recruit players outside of Europeans' top elite markets, just been promoted, plucking players from the lower leagues. I'm not saying we can do that because we're on a bigger scale. But it's just that the whole club from top to bottom is just the state. And I don't like to be negative, mate. I don't want to come on your platform and be like, you know what, we ain't going to get in the top four, but I can't be any different than saying what I think. And the other guys on here are the same. They'll say from the heart, and that's the best part about these fan channels. And I can't be positive at the moment because I don't see it from my team. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, well said, mate. Reynolds just doing a super chat before we finish there. We got players who are done. Even Jesus can't come down and help us. Sell Jones, Pereira, Fred Dallo.
Pereira's
No one
back.
wants them, and we are paying them 130 grand average a week. I mean, guys, the show has flown by. We're already into an hour, and I have to wrap it up there. But it is just a case of letting it all out, and just therapy, like Saeed said, is what it is, guys. I am back tomorrow. I'm doing a daily show, a transfer daily show, the transfer bollocks show. It's I laugh every time I say it because this is what it is. I'm not getting my hopes up, and I don't think I ever will in the transfer window again. We haven't even got people in position to sign these players at the moment. So how can we sign them? And anyone who thinks that bollocks about 150 million, well, if you was in a market and you was letting everyone know that you had 150 million to spend, surely that would be business suicide. And this club is a business. So forget that. That is just a load of crap. Guys, before we finish, just going to get the guys to just give a shout out to their socials as well. We'll just go around. Jamie, just give the people a shout out, please, mate.
Yeah, just my name on the screen, guys. You fancy giving me a follow on Twitter? Always interacting with football fans. So yeah, catch me on that one just underneath my little face. Sorry.
Yeah, your little face. His little face.
I don't know what I said there. So.
Weekly Armchair Podcast. Keen, mate, give him a shout.
Yes, you can catch me on YouTube on the Weekly Armchair Podcast, and we cover all things Manchester United over there. And also, you can catch me on Twitter on my handle like Keen_Franey if you want to see any Manchester United related tweets, or I suppose I haven't been able to do it lately, but banter and odd rival fan or two.
That's the one. And Saeed, my full-time YouTuber in the house.
That's it, mate. Matic TV, man. Just did a local latest Straight Jacket podcast is out. He got a bit heated, you know. Northern got a bit rattled there. You know what I mean? Got emotional. So get in there, man. Go watch it out, man. It's a good watch. Actually.
Love it. That's Saeed TV right there, guys. Do follow him there because he has got loads of good content coming up. And like I said, to see Northern have an explosion, that's more.
Yeah, tell you that, man. Tell you that.
That is it, guys. This has been the biggest viewing we've had for a while on the podcast, guys. Everyone is just looking to vent. Everyone's looking to just release a bit of football therapy. We're all in this talking about this together, guys. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. This is where it is. Real fans, real opinions, and we get you on and your opinions on as much as we can. For now, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. It should be fun. I've got loads lined up. There could have been loads I brought up tonight, but I thought I'll save it for the actual show. But for now, guys, we are out of here. Thank you for all the comments and the super chats as always. You guys have been immense. Enjoy what's left of the Sunday weekend. Apparently, we're in for a full week of it. So good. And there's no football to stress us out. See you in a bit, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Come on, boys.